Deadpool death number 1. Death by boredom. Literally. Yes, the merc with a mouth once died of boredom. Not the, this meeting should have been an email kind. Like actual, clinically flatlined from sheer boredom. In Deadpool number 61, Wade gets kidnapped by T-Ray, a villain whose entire vibe is creepy substitute teacher. He ties Deadpool up in a pitch-black room and just leaves him there. No chimichangas, no punching, no breaking the fourth wall, just darkness, silence, and his own thoughts, which, let's be honest, might be the most dangerous part. Days pass, weeks, eventually, Deadpool's brainwaves go full static. He literally bores himself to death. Somewhere, the DMV is taking notes. And his reaction when revived? Worst death ever. Then he demands tacos, cable TV, and possibly a lobotomy to erase the trauma. This moment proves two things. 1. Deadpool thrives on chaos. 2. You could defeat him with a dental waiting room and smooth jazz. Deadpool death number 2. Eaten by a zombie version of himself. In Marvel Zombies Free number 1, Deadpool crosses into a universe where the Avengers look like they've been marinating in discount barbecue sauce. Everyone's a zombie, including Deadpool. Yes, it's Deadpool versus zombie Deadpool. Spoiler, it's less of a fight and more of a buffet. Zombie Deadpool grabs Wade and bites straight through his skull like he's eating brain-flavored jerky. And Wade, he's screaming, "Dude, personal space!" while trying to headbutt himself back. It's peak Marvel chaos. Deadpool literally being devoured by a version of himself that looks like expired ground beef with katanas. His final words before his jaw's bitten off, "This is exactly why I don't do family reunions." Naturally, he grows back, but the trauma of watching your own undead face munch your brain like popcorn? That's eternal. Deadpool death number 3. Dice into meat cubes by Wolverine. In Wolverine Origins number 25, Deadpool gets hired to kill Logan. Classic mistake. He shows up cocky, armed to the teeth, and wearing a grin like he's about to prank a sleep-deprived grizzly bear. Wolverine, not known for his patience or chill, goes full blender mode. He slices Deadpool up like sashimi. Arms, legs, torsos, even his head. Not just once, multiple times. It's not a fight, it's a meat prep tutorial. At one point, Wolverine pins Wade's talking head to a tree with a claw. Wade keeps yapping even while staring at his own kneecaps lying 10 feet away. You know this counts as workplace harassment, right? Eventually, Logan gets so annoyed, he cuts Deadpool into cubes and buries the chunks, like he's meal prepping a psychopath stew. Regeneration or not, getting julienned by a guy who growls more than he talks, that's gotta sting. Deadpool death number 4. Atomized by Thor's hammer. In Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe number 4, Wade takes on Thor, the Norse god of thunder and walking steroid commercial. Deadpool being Deadpool doesn't bring a plan or common sense, just swords and sass. Thor raises Mjolnir. Deadpool makes a crack about Asgardian shampoo. Then, boom! Mjolnir hits him like a divine freight train. No slash, no stab, just impact. Wade gets vaporized so fast his skeleton throws up a white flag. He's reduced to particles mid-sentence. Literally, there's no corpse, no limbs, just a faint echo of, "This won't buff out." Thor walks away unfazed. Meanwhile, Deadpool's ashes probably formed a sarcastic cloud over New York. This wasn't a fight, it was a celestial swatting of a very annoying bug. Deadpool death number 5, ripped in half by the Hulk. In Deadpool number 39, Wade has the genius idea to antagonize Bruce Banner. You know, Dr. Jekyll if Jekyll bench pressed tanks and wore purple pants. Hulk is not in the mood for banter. Deadpool calls him Shrek on steroids. Hulk responds by grabbing Wade by the ankles and shoulders and tearing him in half like a soggy burrito. His intestines dangle like party streamers as Hulk tosses the top half into a mountain and punts the legs into orbit. Wade's last words before being split? We can talk this out. The best part? He survives, crawls away dragging his spine like a tail, mumbling, "Okay, that escalated." Regeneration doesn't heal your pride, or the part where your rib cage is now a two-piece. Deadpool death number 6, blown to pieces by the Punisher. In Deadpool vs. Punisher number 1, Frank Castle, aka Mr. Gun Fetish, goes full ballistic on Deadpool. No warnings, no witty banter, just bullets, bombs, and that dead inside stare Punisher uses instead of emotions. Wade thinks they're frenemies. Frank thinks Wade is a pest with a healing factor and no volume control. So he lures Deadpool into a trap, waits for him to make a joke about Netflix adaptations, and then unleashes an entire warehouse worth of explosives. The blast is so big, the building disappears. So does Deadpool, except for a lone hand twitching in the rubble, flipping the bird like it has unfinished business. Deadpool comes back, of course, but this time, even he admits, "Okay, that one felt personal." It wasn't a fight, it was a message. Shut up. Deadpool death number 7, vaporized by Dr. Doom's tech. In Deadpool number 27, Wade decides it's a good idea to break into Castle Doomstadt. You know, the heavily fortified home of Dr. Doom, that Varian dictator, magic-wielding genius, and world-class grudge holder. Deadpool shows up like he's ordering tacos, cracks a joke about Doom's mask being a rejected Darth Vader prototype, and gets immediately vaporized by a laser defense system. No alarms, no countdown, just zap! Deadpool becomes a cloud of regret and singed boots. Not even Doom lifts a finger. He's not in the room. That's how beneath him Wade is. The castle kills Deadpool automatically, like Doom installed an annoying guest auto-delete feature. Deadpool regenerates in a sewer drain, muttering, note to self, Doom has no chill. Deadpool death number 8, incinerated by Sunfire. In Cable and Deadpool number 50, Wade gets on the bad side of Sunfire, a mutant whose power is literally being a human nuclear furnace. So, naturally, Deadpool decides to make a joke about sushi and flamethrowers. Bad move. Sunfire doesn't respond with words. He just ignites into a sun-sized rage and blasts Wade point blank with temperatures hotter than a breakup text at midnight. Deadpool combusts instantly. His costume, his weapons, his skin, all reduced to smoking skeleton in under a second. Not even time for a punchline. Just one scorched skull grinning like it just realized it messed up. Moments later, Deadpool's burnt to a crisp remains twitch back to life. His first words, "I'm gonna need aloe. A lot of aloe." This wasn't just a burn, it was a total molecular disrespect. Deadpool death number 9, turned into a vampire snack. In Deadpool Dracula's Gauntlet, Wade gets hired to transport Dracula's vampire bride across the globe. Naturally, he flirts with her, insults Dracula, and makes garlic bread jokes every 5 minutes. Eventually, Dracula gets fed up and does what angry vampires do. He bites Deadpool's neck like it's happy hour at the blood bar. Wade's artery sprays like a Tarantino film, and he collapses, pale and twitching, muttering, "Consent is kinda important, dude." It doesn't kill him permanently, of course not. But for a while, he's out cold, drained like a Capri Sun, and possibly turned into a part-time vampire himself, because why wouldn't Deadpool end up undead adjacent? It's less of a battle, more of a buffet. Dracula wins, Wade drools, everyone's traumatized. Deadpool death number 10, death by boredom. In Deadpool number 11, Wade gets cursed by Loki, because apparently everyone hates Deadpool. The curse? He gets stuck reliving the most boring moments in American history, over and over and over. No explosions, no tacos, just endless lectures, powdered wigs, and Ben Franklin debating tax law. Wade literally dies of boredom several times. His brain shuts down from sheer monotony. His body collapses from historical fatigue. At one point, he fakes a seizure just to see if the plot will change. He screams, "Someone throw a musket at me!" But nothing happens. The torture continues, just Deadpool and a narrator talking about parchment for 6 pages. Eventually, Wade comes back to life mid-snore, whispering, "I'd rather be stabbed by a blender." Out of all his deaths, this one hurt his soul the most, because you can heal a stab wound, but boredom is forever. Deadpool death number 11, drowned by Namor. In Deadpool number 44, Wade decides to pick a fight with Namor the Submariner. Basically, Aquaman if he were angrier, half-naked, and allergic to chill. Deadpool starts things off by mocking Namor's ankle wings and calling him Prince of Wet Blankets. Namor doesn't laugh. He grabs Wade, drags him into the ocean, and holds him underwater like he's washing a particularly annoying dish. Deadpool thrashes, bubbles, and finally goes limp. Drowned, no grand battle, no sword fight, just one slow, suffocating reminder that Wade can't regrow lungs mid-asphyxiation. Eventually, his body floats to the surface like a bloated pool toy. Fish scatter. Namor swims away, unimpressed. Wade regenerates a few hours later with seaweed in his mouth and a new fear of bathtubs. Deadpool death number 12. Eaten by zombies. In Marvel Zombies Return number 1, Deadpool faces a world where Earth's mightiest heroes have turned into undead flesh munchers. Naturally, Wade sees this as an opportunity to crack jokes about decaying skin and trying to sell hand sanitizer. It doesn't go well. Zombie Giant Man chomps into Wade like he's a late-night snack. Spider-Man rips out chunks of his brain. Hulk just eats half his torso and forgets to chew. Wade's healing factor tries to keep up, but regeneration isn't much help when you're being eaten faster than you can regrow. At one point, his head rolls across the floor screaming, "I do not consent to this buffet!" It's one of the most gruesome deaths, slow, messy, and full of crunching sounds you can't unhear. Deadpool death number 13, ripped apart by Carnage. In Deadpool vs. Carnage number 1, Wade goes hunting for Carnage, the unhinged, red-slathered symbiote who makes Venom look like a yoga instructor. Deadpool wants to bring him in. Carnage just wants to redecorate the streets with Wade's internal organs. The result? A full-blown gore opera. Carnage slices through Deadpool with blades formed with his own body, tentacles, spikes, axes, whatever the mood calls for. Wade gets impaled, decapitated, and shredded into meat ribbons faster than you can say therapy. There's no witty banter from Carnage, just laughter, maniacal, blood-soaked laughter. Wade barely gets out a punchline before his torso is flung across the room like a gory frisbee. He regenerates, sure, but not before losing everything that could be called a body. Deadpool death number 14, crushed by a giant Thanos fist. In Deadpool vs. Thanos number 3, Wade tries to interrupt the Mad Titan during a cosmic temper tantrum. Big mistake. Thanos, who's already salty that death has a soft spot for Deadpool, conjures a massive glowing fist the size of a moon and brings it down like he's swatting a fly with planetary PTSD. Deadpool doesn't dodge, he taunts, then splat! Wade's body flattens into a red and black pancake, bones snapping like twigs in a wood chipper. His last words, "Hug it out?" For a few minutes, there's nothing left but a crater and some sarcastic blood mist in the shape of a thumbs up. He eventually reforms, but even his healing factor needs a moment to figure out where his liver went. Deadpool death number 15, disintegrated by the cosmic cube. In Deadpool, the Circle Chase, Wade faces off against a villain wielding the Cosmic Cube, a reality-warping god brick capable of rewriting physics, time, and common sense. Deadpool naturally calls it a shiny Rubik's death box and dares the villain to use it. They do. With one flick of thought, Deadpool is erased, not blasted, not burned, just deleted from existence like an embarrassing browser history. 1 second he's monologuing about chimichangas. The next, there's a puff of red sparkles and silence. No body, no blood, just cosmic dust and a faint echo of, "Wait, what?" It's one of the few deaths where Wade doesn't even get to scream. The universe just hit backspace. Deadpool death number 16, exploded by his own stomach bomb. In Deadpool Volume 3, number 44, Wade discovers a bomb has been surgically implanted inside his body. Not just any bomb, an unstable, ticking gut grenade wired directly into his insides. Rather than letting the X-Men or S.H.I.E.L.D. handle it like normal people, Wade tries to remove it himself with a knife in a moving vehicle while cracking jokes. Spoiler, it explodes. The result? Total giblet spray. His entire midsection vaporizes in a glorious red eruption. Bits of Wade rain down like meat confetti. His legs collapse. His torso flops backward like a lawn chair. Somewhere, someone yells, "I just washed that car!" It's one of the few times Deadpool dies in pure slapstick fashion, blown up by his own body in the most literal sense possible. Bonus: deaths Deadpool wishes for. Number 1. Death by cuddle overdose with Death herself. Deadpool has a long-standing, toxic, flirty, death-obsessed crush on the literal embodiment of death, and he's desperate for her to finally return his texts, or, kill him lovingly. He's proposed, serenaded her, fake dying, real dying, even tried dying extra hard. She flirts back, then ghosts him ironically. Wade's dream death, being held by death as he fades into eternity, whispering, "Tell Thanos I was hotter." Number 2. Death by chimichanga overdose. Yes, he's tried it. No, it didn't work. Wade once locked himself in a Taco Bell bathroom with 400 chimichangas and an iron will. Hours later, his stomach burst, his intestines filed for divorce, and his toilet begged for mercy. Unfortunately, Wade regenerated before he could fully die, but for a moment he knew bliss. Salty, cheesy, artery-clogging bliss. Number 3. Death by watching The Notebook on repeat. At one point, Wade claims watching The Notebook 37 times in a row is the closest he's come to suicide by tears. The emotions, too pure. The dialogue, too tender. The pain, eternal. He says if Ryan Gosling says it wasn't over, it still isn't over. One more time, he'll set his brain on fire just to escape. Number 4. Death by paper cut. Thousands of them. Wade once hypothesized that enough paper cuts in the right places could finally kill him. So, naturally, he tried it. The result? A bloody, papery mess and a target ban. He didn't die, he just got really irritated and learned that receipts from CVS are weaponized. Number 5. Death by existential crisis. After reading The Catcher in the Rye, Wade spends 3 days curled in a ball muttering, "What even is life?" He stares at the fourth wall until it stares back. It doesn't kill him, but it deeply unsettles him. His therapist called it progress. He called it emotional hemorrhaging.